Hey, David. Did you hear about the vampire races?
No.
Apparently they went neck and neck. They tried to consult the photo finish, but it sucked.
It doesn't matter what you Just breathe.
I made the last part up. It's pretty good, right? Hey guys, it's Heather the Crochet Witch. How are you guys doing today? So I actually am welcoming you to start with to day 3 of Vlogtober. Have to get used to that still. I have something to show you to start with today. Before I jump into the Stranger Things theories. The store was super crowded today. I was going to take you guys with us because Damon and I went to, just our grocery shopping stuff. We went to Walmart. We went to Meijer. I'm going back to Meijer at least tomorrow because I forgot something. Damon did too, so he may go with. So if it's not so bad tomorrow, I'll bring you guys with because there is Halloween-y stuff and things like that out. So I will take you along. But there's so many people today. Like, it was not a normal I know I said that a few weeks ago too, so maybe it's starting to be the new norm, but previously it hasn't been. It's crazy. There was even more today though. There was like lines, like this poor people, there was lines out to like into the clothing section, like every line that was open. It was nuts. And then, like, I figured, like, oh, it must have been some big, like a couple groups of people. Because we have, like, farms with, camps that work the farms and stuff, and they all come in at the same time. And I thought maybe it was like a couple of different farms that were there at the same time, and they all seemed to be checking out together. So like I thought they were all up in the front, but the whole store was like that. So like everywhere was busy. It wasn't just like, whoa, some crazy rush and now they're like starting to leave. It was, the whole store was crazy. So I didn't get to take you guys around like I had wanted to, which by the way, yes, this is my hat pattern. It's one of the ones I actually wanted to write up still, so I will be writing it up. This was an old Hobby Lobby yarn from a clearance like 3 years ago, I think. It was one of their alpaca yarns that I'm not itchy from, an alpaca blend. But like I said, I'm not itchy from almost all of them. There was just like one certain alpaca yarn that made me really itchy, so I'm wondering if it was more the dyes or something in it. But yeah, it's a heather hat. While we were shopping, Damon bought me, we both collect, I guess, but he has a bunch of different, like, we both like Pokemon because we're both nerds. He has a bunch of different ones because he has like Eevees and stuff like that, if you're familiar with Pokemon. But as far as the stuffed animals go, I primarily have the Pikachus that they have out. Unless they put out some of the more spooky ones. Like if you know what Gengar is, I think there might be a Gengar somewhere. Like my favorite is Coughing, my favorite ever. But I have yet to see a plushie Coughing. I kind of want a Crochet one, but that's down the line. But the Pikachus that they put them out for like different seasons and different holidays and stuff. And like I have, I don't know if he's a Christmas one or if he was a holiday one. I think he's a Christmas one actually, because now that I'm looking at, because I have a couple of them hung up over here. I didn't bring the ones that he brought me in today, that he got me, so I'll have to bring them in tomorrow and show you. Because I know I talk a lot, but I'm going to have to try to make it as short as I can, because I have to go to bed. I have to go to bed because I have to get up in the morning, go to my doctor's appointment, and stalk the Lion Brand site for the Stranger Things release that hopefully is coming in the morning. But, so I think he's a Christmas one, but he's got like a little nightcap on with stars on it. And then I have one that's like holding a flower. And he got me the 2 Halloween ones the store had today. So I'm pretty excited about that. And then I bought some socks, but I left those out in the other room too. I'll show you those tomorrow, I guess, too. And then actually Damon found me this, but I still have the sticker on it. Just gonna take that off because it's right in the middle of the design. Damon found this and was like, you need to wear this even if you just wear it lounging around the house, because he thought it was very me, because there's like a Stranger Things design that looks a little bit like this too, except it's like zombified and Halloweenish and stuff. It's like, and it's a pretty big shirt. He knows I like to get big shirts for like lounging around the house. I like to wear them big anyway, but yeah, so I thought that was really cool. It was really nice of him. So yeah, that's the stuff we splurged on today. He splurged on stuff for him too, don't get me wrong. It wasn't like a spoil Heather day. It was, but it wasn't just a spoil Heather day. Like he must have had a nice paycheck today, because he got him some Pokemon things too, and I can't remember what all was the spoil Damon part of the day. I know he got him like some Pokemon cards. He had like a stack of this that was like some special collector's thing, and I can't keep up with everything that boy gets with his card game stuff. But I also got something to share with you guys. I thought I would open like one a day of these. It's kind of like a little mystery thing. I found them at Walmart, and one of them inside the bag is already open, so it's not a surprise. So I'm just gonna like show you the bag. I'm just warning you ahead of time that it's gonna be already open, so you'll see like kind of a hint of what they are. But that the open one is the reason why I was like, yep, I'm buying this. So that's the why of why we have it. So I guess it's a good thing that it was stuck open. But I think Damon said there was 9 in here. And okay, I'll show you the side where the bobble is not open. But Walmart has these themed bags. Like this one is Universal Monster themed. And the first thing that popped out was the Bride of Frankenstein. The other side, here, that's hide the bobble that's open for a minute here. But there's like the mummy, there's the creature from the Black Lagoon, and then there's Frankie and his bride on this side. And you can see the little like balls, the capsules these are purple and black. And they're just, it says toy capsule collectibles, Universal Monsters. It says 3rd edition, so I guess they've been doing this for a couple years. And that's really all, like both sides say that. I didn't watch any, like I actually meant to watch some, like look them up on YouTube and see maybe what the possibilities were. And since there's only 9, I'll probably have to get another bag, but I thought maybe this would like hold us over as far as like mystery openings until my 13-day stuff starts at the end of the month. But they also had, so we can decide as I'm opening these, A, if we want to do another one maybe, and B, which theme to get. Because I could either get another one and try my luck with another bag, or instead of Universal Monsters, like they had several. Some of them didn't really tickle my fancy, but one of the options is a Gremlins bag. One of the options is a Halloween, like the movie. It's Halloween 2. I don't really know why specifically Halloween 2 as opposed to like 1, 3, 4, you know, any of them, but it's Halloween 2. There wasn't a Friday the 13th, or I would have been all over that one. I can't remember what the other ones were. I wish I would have filmed it because we could have looked through all the options. I'll have to report back, I guess. But like I know Halloween and Gremlins were definitely on my radar. So like those, or like I said, the monster, Universal Monsters, like another bag of those is the other option. So I'll let you guys help me decide. Either like we can talk about it through the next 9 days or when the time comes. Or I guess I could just surprise you. I mean, if they're like total duds, then I guess we just won't get them. But I'm going to rip it open. And for the first day, it'll be a mystery to you guys, but I already know what it is since it's open inside here, like I said. But I'm super excited about it, so it doesn't bother me that it's open. But let me show you a closed one. It even says it's printed on here. It may not show up with the way my ring light is, but it says in really light print, it says the Universal Monster thing right here. And then, yeah, it's just like light violet and black. And it's just like, it's almost like the things that you get out of like the 25-cent or 50, they're probably 50-cent now, machines. But you get little prizes in them. I don't know, I just thought it would be cute. I don't know. But then, presumably, okay, yeah, I can even close it so we can just go through the fun of opening it together. So there it is. We'll open it up. What do you think it could be, guys? I'm going to tell you right now, I was super excited. I'm going to take it out of its package, too, so we can just get the crinkly packaging out of its way. Maybe I should have just saved this one for last, I guess. But just to show you, like, oh, it's rubbery, too. That's awesome. So I prefer this to hard plastic. It's a keychain. It's a Frankenstein keychain, you guys. Oh, focus on him. Look at that. Isn't that awesome? Oh, I love him so much. And he is definitely, I don't know if he's going to go on like my house keys with my car keys and stuff, or if he's going to go on my work keys. Probably my house keys, because I feel like if he's on my work keys, he's going to get destroyed from like clanging around all day. I love this thing. Like literally I was like, oh, I knew there was Frankenstein in these anyway. And if you've been around, you know Frankie and his bride are like my monsters. Like I love them so much. I'm pretty fond of the creature of from the Black Lagoon too. But I love Frankie and his bride so much. So, and they're just, like I said, they're just the cute little toys. So I guess from here on out, it'll be a mystery, and we'll see like what kind of stuff there is in there, and we can see if we think it's worth getting again. But I think they're cute. I love it. Yay. All right, so that was that. Like I said, I'm gonna do my best to not be so long-winded today. In fact, I'm even choosing one of my own creepy experiences, ghost stories, and it's going to be a short one today, so it won't be as long as yesterday's. But I can't promise that for the Stranger Things theories, just saying. Super stoked that you guys, like, the majority of your comments, by the way, are having to do with the Stranger Things theories. I am super stoked. Like, I don't mind if you disagree. I love when you agree. Any of the above. I'm just stoked that you guys are like getting into it and letting me know. And like I said, if you want to talk amongst yourselves, talk amongst yourselves. If there's a discussion to be had, go for it. Like, I think it's awesome. Okay. So we got 1 and 2 out of the way in order. Let's skip around. I don't think this is that great of a topic, so I'm going to cover it now. Maybe I won't have a lot to say about it on a night that I'm trying to hurry up. So this one is for the Stranger Things theory today. Kali/8, whichever you want to call her, will return to help fight Vecna. Mark that off. But that is a theory that that's not my own theory either. That's been going around on the internet. So that is today's theory. Do you think that's a possibility, or that it should happen? Like, even if you don't think the Duffers are going to do it, do you think she should? Is actually my question to you, because I know for a fact that rating-wise, the Kali episode got like, I saw a graph and it was like Stranger Things for the season was like, the episodes were kind of like there might have been a little up and down, but like the popularity was kind of like pretty straight, and then Kali episode and then went right back up, and then like the season finale was up there, but it was like there no comparison. Like, everybody across the board seemed to pretty much hate that episode. I can tell you that I myself, if I have ever skipped an episode, it's been that one. Or like, maybe if I don't skip it, but like if I've definitely got like something else to do and that's going to be on in the background, like where I'm paying attention to it less, it's going to be that episode. Because I don't really skip them per se. I find all of them noteworthy. And for the record, I don't hate Kali. I would say that that's my least favorite. I would find it safe to say I don't like her gang of people. I would prefer, if she comes back, that she comes back by herself. I found the idea of them annoying. Let me put it that way. Because like the big guy, the big, I think he might have, not the Mohawk guy that was like the scrawnier guy, but the real big like kind of teddy bear guy that was really sweet and shook Eleven's hand and he called her like Miss Jane. I really liked him. Like I thought he was just like a genuinely sweet guy. I was like, what is he doing with this group of kids? Like he's so out of place. Like they're supposed to be all a group of like misfits and he's like the misfit amongst them. Like he seemed like he could really contribute to normal society, considering that none of them besides Kali had powers. Like, so it's not like he was ostracized for having powers. It's not like he was, running away. Like we don't know his past, of course, just like in the real world, you can't look at somebody and know their past. So like maybe he was reformed from doing something really bad and was running away from that, or maybe he was framed for doing something and was running away from that, or maybe he was orphaned and had nowhere to go and the first friend he made was Kali. Like we don't know that, I guess, but just without explaining that and just to draw your own conclusions, like he had no good place amongst them. Like to me, like, okay, they needed some like muscle, so let's just bring him in, but he has the nicest personality, so like don't bring him along and make him like an accessory to your awfulness. Like, I liked him. The Mohawk guy could not stand him. The switchblade chick with the driver, did not like her. Like, I don't know. They annoyed me. The hairdresser chick, she's annoying. Like, I'm sorry if you guys like them. There's still nobody in the full roster that I just straight hated, but like they're probably the closest thing that, like I'm still kind of like, if I met the actor, I would still be so geeked and I would probably tell them that I loved them. I loved them for being in Stranger Things. That's definitely true, but their character maybe was not my favorite. But I'm a little off topic and I didn't mean to be. So like my question to you is, how did you feel about Kali? And that's kind of another thing. Like last night with Eddie, was it more that you thought Eddie should live because your emotions were driving you, or because you really thought the character was alive? I honestly can't answer that 100%. That it was logic for me. I think that some of it was emotion. And in this instance with Kali, I think I can honestly answer with logic. I think that Kali should come back, and I have a reason for this. There is this may be kind of another like theory or idea, I guess, but it fits in enough that I didn't make it like its own theory. I don't think I did. Double check I think it's all grouping together, but yeah, I think this is all grouped together here. But so we were talking in the theory about like one being Elle's dad, about how their powers were so similar. Well, Kali's powers are obviously vastly different than Elle's. Like with her illusions and making people, like getting inside people's heads. Like Elle can get inside people's heads, but she doesn't get inside their head to like make them see things in the real world, right, that aren't there. She reads their minds. She apparently piggybacks into into their minds and can fight there and all that stuff, but she's not making them see butterflies. She's not making them think they're running into walls while they're chasing them in cop cars or anything like that. She's using her mind powers to flip those cop cars, but she's not making them run into walls that aren't there and that kind of thing. They're vastly different. So the theory is that one and his powers were so, like, his powers were he was the blank canvas that everything else was created from. All the other numbers were created from. And I don't think they meant they didn't mean like all the other test subjects were his children, but maybe they were going with, they were created in his image. Some of his DNA got injected in the making of the children. Maybe they just meant somehow Brenner got the powers to transfer. I'm not really sure where that came from, but the idea was Vecna can make people see things that aren't there, right? So Henry / Vecna / one, ergo one, can make people see things that aren't there. He, with all of the illusions, like when Fred was seeing he was reliving his car accident, and then he was living like a nightmare, basically, being down in the grave when he first ran into Vecna, and Chrissy with her mom, and being in the house with her dad and his lips sewn shut and everything. And Max with her mom. And I don't think they ever actually showed Patrick having any actual like dreams or illusions or walking nightmares or anything like that. But Vecna has that ability, that power to illusion people like Kali does. And he also very obviously has the ability to get inside of people's minds and to telekinetically move things and to hold people in place like 11 does. So they theorized that the reason, like when Henry said to 11, when he was talking to her right from the jump, when he said something about, think back, this would have been before 8 left. That means Henry was aware of 8 leaving, and that maybe that was in the very recent past at that time. But yet in the flashbacks before that, there still wasn't an 8 present, except for in the Rainbow Room when they were really small. So in theory, in that little Rainbow Room, like nursery, was where they were waiting for their powers to develop. And once they saw, like, clearly Elle's powers went one way, Kali's went another way, all of the kids in the room that, like, in the wing, let's say, of Hawkins' lab, where Elle was kept, all had, like, the telekinetic powers, the movement powers and stuff that Elle had. So she was grouped with children of her own powers. Perhaps Kali was off in a wing of her own with kids that did the same type of illusionary belief type powers that she had, right? I mean, here's me with that pen again. So in theory, once they were separated, Henry's powers moved to people in different ways, right? And he killed off, basically, except for Elle, all of the telekinetic, mind-reading people. Did he do the same with Kali's people, like with the illusionary people? Or was Kali the only one, for that matter? Because we don't know that. We have no idea, right? No detail was put in. As far as I can remember, in any of the novels or graphic novels, nothing was mentioned about kids with other powers besides, like, the kinetic powers. I can't think of any. If you guys can, let me know. I know I haven't fully read every single novel, but I think I know the basis of all of them. And I can't think of any. And so, like, for Kali to be out there and Elle to know where she's at, that's kind of like a secret weapon. If they could join forces, the two of them together, basically make up a Vecna, because that's his powers are equal to the two of theirs together. Like, they're like a Wonder Twins join kind of Vecna, right? So she could be really detrimental to helping distract, deceive. I think she could be a really big, like, team player, basically. And she's very, very hell-bent on, at the time, I mean, her vendetta was with Papa and with the people from the lab, but Henry was an orderly in the lab. So even if she doesn't buy into the whole Vecna part, or even if she doesn't hate him because that's not what he had became when she was there. And maybe if it was just the things that directly affected her. Henry was in the lab. Henry did know about Elle's mom. Henry knew about the things that were going on to the kids. Henry helped collar the kids. Remember when the fight was going on and everything, he put the collar on the kid for Brenner. So he assisted just as much as the guy did when she brought Elle to his apartment and they were going to kill him. So I'm just saying, I think she could be very easily convinced if she wasn't already in the mindset to go against Vecna. And I think that her powers could double up with Elle's and be very useful to everybody. So like, even though the episode itself wasn't deemed as popular, and even though people like I myself just said, I really didn't care for these side characters and this and that, but logically, I think it makes sense for Kali to come back to Hawkins. Like, maybe they could go hunt her down, or maybe she just hears about it. Like, I mean, the whole earthquake hellmouth was on the news. It was on national news at the end of season 4. Maybe she heard about it and she knows better because Kali's not stupid. So she heads over from Chicago. I always thought it was Pittsburgh, by the way. I don't know why I thought it was Pittsburgh, but I even corrected, like in my head, when random, like, I don't know, like YouTube videos would talk about, like the rap sheets would talk about Stranger Things. They would talk about the episode that happened in Chicago. And in my head, I'd be like, it was Pittsburgh, by the way, until I realized it was never Pittsburgh. Like, I don't know where I got that from. I've been to both Chicago and Pittsburgh. Totally where she gets off the bus looks like a Chicago area. I mean, I guess cities look alike, but like, so I don't know why in my head I was like, that looks like Pittsburgh. Like, I don't know. But I had been convinced in my head that it was Pittsburgh. I don't know why at all. I think in one of my fanfics I even wrote Pittsburgh. Anyway, silly Heather. But anyway, I think it would be a really good idea. I don't know if it's going to happen. I don't know if the Duffers are going to do it. I heard that the Kali episode happened and was so out of place because it was meant to be, at one point, they were going to use it as kind of a gateway to have almost like a spin-off and let Kali kind of have a spin-off show. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. And clearly it didn't go anywhere because of how bad that, you remember I said the ratings for the season were like teetering just a little, and then that episode was like off the charts in the bad way. And then after that episode, they went right back up. Yeah. So like, clearly if it was really in the works, that's why they were like, no, we're done here. But what do you guys think? Like, both your emotional opinion and your logical opinion. What do you think? Because I think it would be a really good idea. I just don't know if the Duffers are going to do it. If they've said they're not going to introduce any more new characters, it would make sense to me that they optimize all of the old characters that they could. And yeah, she seems like such a obvious choice to me. And it, like, to me, the whole power thing makes sense, like the power splitting thing and having some of Henry's powers in each of the children. That makes sense to me. I mean, it is very apparent in Vecna that he does both of those things, and it is also very apparent that Elle only does this set of things. Well, but Elle developed other powers too. Like, we never saw Elle be able to resurrect anybody the way she did Max until she did. Which poses the question, can Vecna... I'm getting ahead of myself. That's a different theory. I'm just going to shut up with that one. But, yeah, let me know what you think. If you have any other inputs or disproving inputs to add to that, let me know. So excited to hear anything you have to say. And I'm going to close that doorway right now before I continue going off about it. And tell you about a little story about when I was a kid at my grandparents' house. I was raised at my grandparents' house, by the way, so it was my house, I should say. My grandma and grandpa raised me, and my mom stayed there too. But like custody, guardianship, whatever you want to call it, was awarded to my grandparents at the time. Long story, but my mom was always in my life. I should say that too. So just clarifying that. But there were, and these are like, when I had said before, I may have had different experiences, but they were all super short. I'm just going to group 2 or 3 of those together right now. So like it's not like a beginning and ending type story. I'm just telling you a few like odd experiences, and you can draw whatever you want for them. You can think that I'm totally crazy if you want to. You could think it was this or it was that, or it was just the imagination of a kid. Totally fine. I will say this was just the beginning, and that things got weirder as I got older, but to begin with. So when I was a kid, like I said, I lived with my grandparents. We lived in one house, and then my grandparents had, like my grandpa had built sort of like a guest house, and that was actually where the washer and dryer was and things like that, because I don't really know why. I was a kid, but so like my grandma would go, even if I was fairly small. I mean, I'm sure when I was like a baby, she probably, well, it was the 80s. I mean, maybe she was like, well, Heather's laying down on the floor, I'm going to run over here to the washer and dryer. I don't know. I was too young then to know what she did. But, you know, when I was old enough, like the kids sitting down with their cartoons, I'm going to go do a load of laundry, like whatever. So that happened one day. And, you know, like she would always say, like, if you need me, I'll be right. There was like a pathway going from the houses. So she would always say, like, her saying was like, I'll be right down the path and to the other house. And off she went, you know, she did her laundry. And I remember that I was sitting, like laying on the floor in the living room, as, you know, as you will when you're 3, like laying on the floor on my stomach, just like peering up at the TV, you know, like watching probably He-Man or something. And I heard a noise. Like, I don't remember what first got my attention. Like, I wouldn't say it was probably like some loud bang or anything like that, but it was definitely like an out of place noise, like maybe like a creak or just something. Like I knew I should have been alone in the house, so I'm like, you know, like what's going on? And I heard it again, and little, you know, 4-year-old, whatever old I was, me, got scared. So I ran and ducked under the kitchen table. So here I am hiding under the kitchen table, thinking I'm safe from whatever there, because, you know, my back's against the wall. I can peer out and see anything out there. I'm good. And then I hear a creaking noise. Like, this was definitely a creaking noise. And I thought maybe, you know, maybe my grandma's creaking the door open. Our door didn't even creak as far as I remember, but like, hopefully that's my grandma, because I'm scared, you know. And it was not my grandma. So I'm peeking out because I'm kind of like trying to look around, figure out what this noise is coming from. And I notice movement, and my kitchen cabinet above the sink that I'm facing out, the sink's in front of me but across the kitchen. The kitchen cabinet above it is creaking open, and again, you can stop right there and tell me it's just an imagination of, you know, an imaginary kid, like that's fine. There was a face peering out at me. The kitchen cabinet was only open so far, so I saw about this much of the face. And it was just peering out at me. And I screamed bloody murder. I screamed so bad. I just saw the time. Let me pause this so in case my voice is off. Sorry about that. I didn't want my vocal I didn't want my sound to be off from my lips moving, because I know that's got to get annoying if it does that. But I screamed bloody murder. Like I don't know how my grandma wouldn't have heard me across the path, but screamed, threw myself against the wall, you know, and I'm just like, and that's how my grandma found me, because I just knew whatever was in that cabinet was gonna come get me. Terrified. So I have like goosebumps right now. I don't know. You probably can't see them. Like my hair is standing up. But that was like during the day. It was broad daylight, so there was no illusion for me from an early age that creepy stuff only happens at night. But then at night, I was laying in my bed and laying there, and something woke me up again that night. And I don't know what it would have been again, because, you know, you're just waking up kind of in a daze. And I had I was, like I had said, maybe 4 years old, maybe 5, but I don't think I was in school yet. So like 3 or 4 years old. I had one of those 80s Fisher Price xylophone things, the metal xylophones that had the wood, and I had this plastic cord on them. They were on wheels, and you could either like tink 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 play them, or if you pulled them, something inside, you know, went just tinked against it, basically. Anybody who was around, I don't know if they were around in the 90s or not. So anybody who was around in the 80s or maybe like the late 70s, maybe, I'm not really sure when they started either, probably knows what I'm talking about for sure. Like they may have some version of it today. I'm not really sure, but I remember the little metal xylophone keys were like all rainbow colored, and I loved that thing when I was really little. And I still had it, but it was out in like the living room area. Like it was towards the front of the house, and my bedroom was in the back of the house. And I'm kind of woken up by something, so I'm just waking up kind of, you know, what's going on? And my eyes just like shoot open, because I realized that middle of the night and I am hearing tink, 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 tink of that thing being pulled across the floor. And I was so scared. I could not do anything. I couldn't scream. I couldn't leave my bed. I certainly couldn't leave my bed. I had the whole belief that if you know, most of us have probably, if you keep your feet up, nothing can get you, kind of thing. So I pulled the covers over my head and I listened to that thing tink, tink, tink for, it felt like hours to me. It was probably, you know, a minute or something, if most likely, but it felt like forever to me. And then it stopped, and I was awake for a very long time. Oh, I was so scared. It was ridiculous. Like looking back on it now, it was ridiculous how scared I was. But you know, I mean, if you know, you know, if you were raised in the kind of house where like you knew nobody was up, like I didn't have little brothers or sisters that would have been up in the middle of the night. I didn't have, you know, like my mom was in a wheelchair, and she most definitely wouldn't have been up out of bed in the middle of the night playing with a xylophone. My grandparents were asleep in the next room. I'm sure I probably heard at least one of them snoring. So like, if you know, you know, like, you know that you're in a house full of adults and none of them are up playing with a xylophone in the middle of the night. And you know that you just had this super crazy experience like during the day. And yeah, it was just terrifying to, you know, a like 4-year-old or whatever kid. So that was like some of the earliest creepy stuff that I remember happening at my house. like I said, it does get more. And sorry if that wasn't like super woo today, but I can assure you from this end of the camera, I am like woo, because it happened to me. But I will tell you more of the progression of my house at my grandma's house more during the month, I promise. Because I've always meant to like share these just for people, but yeah, I thought it would be beneficial to have a shorter story tonight. So, all right, I'm just gonna go. So if you are if you are judging me, you can just keep judging me, I guess, and I won't say any more. But I just wanted to thank several of you guys that have emailed me. And like I said, if you have any like creepy or paranormal or ghost stories or just anything weird, anything that gives you the goosebumps that I had when I was talking about that, if you want to post them down below, you can feel free to. If you want to email them to me or Instagram message them to me or post them on my Facebook group for like the Facebook group to read and stuff instead of the YouTube group. Like some people are on Facebook, some people aren't. However you want to do it, go for it. I read the emails that I got tonight, and I know I answered you, so like you know that I've read them if you've sent me something, because like I totally love sharing that experience. Most like unless you say something like, I can't even think of something that you could tell me that I would be like, I don't think I would just be rude and be like, I don't believe you anyway, but like I'd be hard pressed to find something that I just straight up don't believe. Like I feel like there's some kind of explanation for a lot of things, and I feel like if you believe in it, it happened, but what is the explanation? We may not know, or it may take research, or you know what I'm saying? Like I wouldn't discount anything is what I'm saying. So like if there's anything that you would ever want to share, I love hearing about things like that, especially when they happen to people that like I know, and we know each other, obviously. I feel like we do. We're friends and family. So yeah, if you ever want to share that stuff with me, feel free in any of the ways that you want. I think that's so cool. But yeah, I'm going to go, though. I'm going to get to bed and get to my doctor's appointment. And hopefully tomorrow, I will have some news on the Lion brand, not sale, but the Lion brand purchase that I am hopefully going to make. And I can share that with you. We shall see. Wish me luck. Wish me luck, you guys. And if you are looking for it, good luck also. Let me know if you get anything. So I will talk to you later. I see there are more subscribers too. So if you have not subscribed, what are you waiting for? I asked that yesterday, but what are you waiting for? We're so close to 3,000. That's so exciting. But all right, I will actually go this time, and I will talk to you later. I love you guys. Bye.